Hello, all you beautiful souls. I decided to take a 3-month break from social media, and it's been so good for my soul. I've explored what's called quantum leaping. And today I wanted to describe what that is, how you can implement it in your life, and the beautiful changes that unfold for me personally, and that you can implement your own beautiful change in any area of your life. So thanks to AI and Google, what is quantum leaping? So in a general sense, it's a sudden or significant advance or improvement, right? So we talk about the world of physics. It describes as an abrupt transition of an electron or an atom from one energy to another. Okay. And so I'm reading my notes because I don't have that fancy program that I usually do, but in a general sense, it's a dramatic leap forward in your life. I've been doing quantum jumping without realizing it over the years. And now I'm doing my best to master what that looks and feels like, how to actually do it, kind of like a beautiful protocol, understanding it, experiencing it, seeing the results, and then teaching it with the world. That's how Inner Beauty was created, right? For my own life experience. So I'm taking this to the whole next level. So before we dive into the details of quantum leaping, I want to give you a forefront. This is very important. And one of my mentors online, his name is, I could see his beautiful face, but I can't remember his name. I will post it below. But anyways, mom brain, I just got a massage, okay? I'm like, blah, blah, it's been 11 years. So I'm pretty chill, pretty relaxed. All the neurons in my brain aren't working 100%. And so Brian Scott, that's his name. See, when you own up to it? Okay, let's go back to what I was talking about. I want to keep this short enough. Before we dive into quantum leaping, Brian Scott, before these quantum jumping meditations that I was doing, he warned us. He said, your life will never be the same. You will not be able to go back, right? And so he was right. And when we make significant change in our life, there is going to be destruction that happens. Because if we are in a certain place in our life, there are certain attachments, there are certain situations that are in the present moment that if you want to transform your life in something different, right? And quantum leap into that. Some of these old patterns, old behaviors, old destructions, old ties, old places, old things, whatever it may be, will have to crumble in order for you to take that leap. So in the moment, it feels very chaotic, very uncomfortable. You feel like you will be losing your mind at times. Guilty as charged over here, experiencing in the last 3 months. So much stuff has come up for me as I've been doing this quantum leaping work. So think of it kind of like a bow and arrow. If you pull back a little bit, you're just going to get a little bit of momentum. If you want that arrow to go as far as you can, right? And you are here to maximize your life and you are here to live at the edge of your soul and to make these bold moves, then you're going to want to pull it back as far as you can. And then when you release that, right? When you release it, you will see the momentum that happens. But in the pulling back, that's where you're stretching your nervous system. You're stretching your belief system. Everything that you thought you knew is like crumbling and you're like, what is happening? So when you're moving through it, we have to remember to cultivate trust. If we do not cultivate trust, our nervous system is going to resort to anxiety. Because for me personally, the opposite of trust is anxiety. And so when we move through challenges or difficult things, because we are stretching, right? We're stretching our energetic field to really manifest on a physical level this life that we envision for ourselves. It's going to feel uncomfortable to our nervous system because we've been trained to be and to live and to think a certain way. So that being said, you can never go back and to trust the process because things are going to feel like they're falling apart, which is Normal, 1000%. Think of the butterfly transforming. It starts off as a caterpillar, then it goes into the cocoon and turns into this goo, and then it literally metamorphs into a butterfly, and the cells and the DNA is not even the same. We can do that as humans. And I'm exploring that with you. I'm just at a certain stage of it. So that being said, quantum leaping. If you're looking for a quantum leaping guide from the comfort of your own home, I would highly recommend looking at Brian Scott. It's free on YouTube. This is the guy I've been studying from and actually implementing the guided meditations. So there's guided meditations where you tune into your energy and your frequency field and you visualize the life that you want. Rather it's, you can do anything. You could do a relationship, you could do a new home, you could do a career, you can do, if you want to travel the world. I mean, the possibilities are endless with this. It's like you have a blank canvas in front of you, right? And if you weren't tied to situations or things or your past, what would your life look like, right? And maybe it looks very similar to what you have now, but you just want to make a small shift, right? So you can use this in magical ways, but if you're committed to your highest purpose and your growth, there will always be expansion available to you. I'm French, I talk with my hands. That's okay. So to apply this work, Brian Scott's your guy. You can find so many other resources online on YouTube, but you can do it from the comfort of your own home. And here's a little testimonial on how this has shifted my life. So I don't know if you saw, but we decided to put our house up for sale. And we bought a new beautiful custom home before Alea was born. We were supposed to build, and then baby came before the building. That's fine. That's life. And we decided to buy a beautiful motorhome. And so we finished the basement, did all these beautiful things, and now we are ready to take the next leap. So when I first started doing this quantum leaping, it guided me to visualize the ideal life. And so I pictured myself in this beautiful home with a view of the lake. And that has been something that I've wanted since I was a little girl. Okay. Water, for some reason, it just soothes my soul, and not a water view, like on the actual water. So I would visualize the sun setting on the water, and I was at my computer and we were doing my inner beauty work. And then I had my family, we were having dinner and we were laughing and joyful and having fun and listening to the waves crash onto the property. And I had my little she hut, right, where I did my meditations and my in-person healing. Then I had this whole beautiful online community and everything that I was doing there. And so that being said, I soaked into that vision. And as soon as I started doing that, things in my life started like crumbling. Like all of these old belief systems came up. And even within my personal relationship, right, me and Tara both committed to growth. However, there was a lot of things that came up that needed to be transcended. And so there was that. And then even the current location that I'm at right now, as much as I love this beautiful home, and it's for sale, by the way, if you want to buy it or if you know someone. And so country living at its best. And so to plug that in. Okay, on se calme. Focus. I have a few more minutes. And so to summarize everything, if we would stay at this home plus having the rental that we have, it would take us, longer to build or to buy on the lake, whatever is available at the time that we're ready, right? It would take us longer. I'm not putting a time frame on it, but it would take us longer. So when you do quantum leaping, the universe finds the path of least resistance for you and finds these creative ways in order for you to really stretch that bow and arrow so that when you release, you have a lot of momentum and you can get to where you want to go quicker. You're collapsing timelines, right? And so when we started talking, we're just like, for us, it makes more sense to sell the house that we're at right now. Okay. And this is going to be the bow and arrow, the uncomfortable things that we sometimes have to do in order to build that beautiful, fast momentum. So selling the house, then we're going to move on to the top of rental. So we're going from 3,000 square feet, right? 3.5 baths to a 900 square foot, 3-bedroom, 1 bathroom, right? And so in the city where there's a lot of traffic, but there's a beautiful nature trail, and don't worry, I'm doing the the energy work on that, and it's going to be lovely. We had a lot of great times. We'll be close to a lot of different things. And so the beautiful part about that is that we'll be debt free. The only debt we'll have is our current mortgage, and the basement tenants are going to be paying for most of that. And so all the money that we'll be making in the next, it's a 2-year plan, right? But again, I'm not putting timeline to it because I can collapse timelines, but this is the next logical step, right? The next quantum step that I need to take and we need to take as a family, right? Your situation is going to be different. I'm just giving you an example. And so doing that, it's funny. I was doing meditations on being debt free completely. I don't think you can get to a stage where you're completely debt free, but I think debt is a good thing depending on how much debt you have and how much money's coming in. But this is not a finance thing. I'm not an advisor. What I am saying is that I'm babbling. I get so excited. Okay, focus. Nala's waiting for me inside and I got to do some work. So all that to say, for us, will put us in the best financial situation we've ever been in our entire lives, with Tay going back to school and me being on mat leave. And on top of that, I only built the business in person. So if I wasn't at work, I wasn't making any money, right? Because I need to see clients in order to bring in money. So that's why I'm restructuring everything. So that being said, we're collapsing timelines, but we're pulling back. We're doing the uncomfortable thing, right? Even if you look at it on a micro scale, it feels like such a small move. But when you look at it on a macro scale and you see the momentum that it's going to build in the bigger picture, right? You can't lose sight of the bigger picture. This is what quantum leaping is all about, right? So what are you, my love, willing to do, right? To quantum leap into the life of higher vibration in your personal, in your work, in your business, in your own self-development, whatever it is that you are looking to achieve is already done for you. When you do quantum leaping, what happens is you tap into multi-dimensional timelines. If you think that we are linear, that's a human experience. We are actually more than that. We are energy in a human form. So when we start doing this energy work and we play in the quantum field, we get to choose a timeline from our highest self. And it's not something outside of us. It's something that's cultivated within us. And it's already done, meaning if we can visualize it, then it's already finished. It's already available to us on an energetic frequency. So our job as humans is to do the work, the mental, emotional, the energy, and plus physically taking action and dealing with what's uncomfortable as we work through the belief system, right? To pull back on that bow and arrow so we can create beautiful momentum into the life that we want, not what other people define for us and not what the culture thinks is, the best thing for us. We are such people pleasers and have lived our lives on autopilot and in this box where we someday wake up and ask ourselves, like, who am I? And why did I make these choices? And you start questioning everything, right? And you're super thankful for where you're at, but it feels like this is not 100% the life that you're meant to live. You can't explain it, but something feels off. So if you're feeling like that, regardless of where you're at on your journey, I want you to know it's because your soul is calling you to a higher timeline. And you can use quantum leaping as a beautiful tool for your expansion. And that was just one example in my life that I'm currently going through, right? That's what Inner Beauty is about sharing my own life experience, implementing the work, and then teaching other people how to do it. And that will be the next step. I just need to move first. And then don't worry, I'm working on something, right? To help you guys do what I'm doing, because I love sharing. Share from the heart. All right, my loves, it's been 15 minutes. I like to blab on. I just want you to remember that you're a powerful human being and that life will throw us curveball after curveball. And when it does that, it's because there is something that we need to tune into, that we need to address. And on a personal level, I find that mixing the physics with the energy work and doing the practical self-love and the practical daily setting boundaries with people around you, and just doing that, excuse me, that inner work, right? The emotional intelligent work in a practical way. Mixing all of that is where you get the best results. Because, my love, the magic is within you. Bye.